morning. I'm Angelo Castro III.
I'm Angela, and we are the Castros.
We bring you the news.
And the views that make you think.
Sometimes we agree.
Sometimes we don't.
This is News and Views.
And here are today's headlines.
The Justice Department is helping the ICC with witness protection in the Duterte probe, but says this doesn't mean it acknowledges the court's authority over the Philippines.
The COMELEC has lifted the suspension on the proclamation of Marcy Teodoro as congressman of Marikina City's 1st District.
The MMDA convenes Metro Manila Road Safety Summit 2025 amid a rise in road accidents.
And a new legal resource for the LGBTQIA+ community was launched during a Pride reception hosted by the British Embassy.
First in the news, the Justice Department is assisting the International Criminal Court in protecting witnesses in the case against former President Rodrigo Duterte. But the agency insists that this doesn't mean it recognizes the ICC's authority over the Philippines. Here's the report.
In the past, this was how Justice Secretary Boying Rimulya sounded when talking about the International Criminal Court and its insistence to probe the Duterte drug war.
Ang posisyon ko dyan, sasalubungin ko sila sa airport and accompany them on their trip back.
Oh, sasalubungin niyo pa, sir?
Oh.
Salubungin ko sila para they can take the first plane out. Sir,
Sir, what about...
Sir, do you mean, are you saying deportation? What do you mean, sir?
I-deport ba sila or what? Since you are in charge of BI.
so, buwi na kayo. Wala kayong gagawin sa Pilipinas. Kami, kung meron kayong reklamo, file nyo sa amin.
They will have no compulsory process in the country. They will not even be empowered to issue subpoenas in the country. They have not even coordinated with us about it. So if they want to come in as a hostile government, as a hostile force, to come in. But they cannot do that to us.
Fast forward to 2025, former President Rodrigo Duterte has been in ICC detention since March. The DOJ under the same secretary is now coordinating, even helping the International Tribunal it once accused of overstepping jurisdiction and trampling Philippine sovereignty.
We already chose not to pursue the cases and let the ICC pursue these cases. Given that, it becomes also our obligation to help them because we are giving up our jurisdiction for their jurisdiction. Kasi nga, ang hirap na i-prove yung case dito at i-build up ang kaso dahil yung mga kailangan mong magsalita ay kasama sa krimen. Kaya komplikado rito.
Rimulya stresses this is not flip-flopping on government's part, maintaining its position that the ICC has no jurisdiction on the Duterte case since the Philippines has already withdrawn from the Rome Statute in 2019. For now, 3 to 4 witnesses have been tapped to testify against Digong. For ICC Assistant to Counsel Attorney Cristina Conti, the DOJ's support for witness protection came as a pleasant surprise. Conti welcomed the move, calling it unprecedented, but clarified that there has been no direct coordination or formal offer from the DOJ yet. She noted that while the DOJ had previously reached out for parallel investigations, this level of cooperation with the ICC is a significant step.
Well, no, it was also a pleasant surprise for us that they're offering this kind of support or this kind of cooperation with the court, essentially. Pero yung ganitong klaseng support, this is in a way unprecedented because this really would be a responsibility of a member state. Kaya, i-welcome namin itong tulong na to pero wala pa kami ngayon na coordination as to this offer.
Yun. So welcome as a member state. If you remember yung unang pronouncements ng DOJ, financial assistance ang ginamit na to that effect ang word. Pero now, nag-backtrack into witness protection.
Meron na silang 4 in custody na mga nasa witness protection. No? Sabi ni DOJ Secretary Rimulya, currently there are 3 or 4 witnesses to the war on drugs. And with more expected to come are under the witness
Pero ang
protection
jurisdiction
program.
ata, parang I heard Attorney Conti kasi sa yesterday sa Storycon or was it the other day, parang yung jurisdiction nila will be until the airport pag hinatid and then after that turnover na sa ICC ang responsibility. Ang question nga we had yesterday with Attorney Conte, paano after this administration?
Yeah, what happens?
May kaso pa eh. And you're going to see witnesses coming in and out. What if hindi friendly sa kaso ang manalong presidente? Let's say, hypothetically, VP Sara wins the presidency.
What
will happen to
now?
the case against her father, di ba? So,
Exactly.
questions like that have to be cleared.
And then also good to note yung pattern, no, yung naging pattern ng mga statements of this government regarding ICC.
Yeah.
From the time they started the administration, PBBM administration,
Yeah.
nakita natin yun, di ba, na bawal sila dito hanggang sa unti-unting bahala sila hanggang sa nakuha na nga si former President Rodrigo Duterte.
Yung ginawa ng timeline yesterday was nice. It gives you perspective
Yeah.
na definitely there's a change and shift in foreign policy, and only the president can actually really give the direction and change of foreign policy. So alam mong sumusunod lang to sila Secretary Remulla. Of course, siguro may mga advice sila sa presidente, but at the end of the day, siguro ito nagiging direction ni PBBM.
And for another development, sinasabi nga, yung Philippine authority, kumbaga through DOJ, si Secretary Remulla, sinasabi nila, ay tiniturn over na nila or ginigive up na nila yung authority nila
Yes.
doon sa kaso ng drug war to the ICC.
To the ICC.
Kumbaga, dati kasi sabi nila, they're going to file cases here, di ba, tutulungan yung mga victims, local justice system. Pero sinasabi nila, they were pointing out na kasi ang hirap walang evidence and supposedly yung part of the investigation or some of them are involved in the crime itself, yung mga ganon. So, sinasabi nila, parang hindi na kaya dito, so ICC
Kasi yung case na yan ni former President Duterte here in the Philippines, may mga penal clauses. So which means hypothetically it falls under the criminal court natin here.
Yeah.
Ang appreciation ng court, mga judges dito on evidence kasi beyond reasonable doubt.
Yeah, oo.
Sa ICC naman, iba ang appreciation nila sa evidence on crimes against humanity. Kahit hindi ikaw mag-pull ng trigger, but if you are part of that entire conspiracy, then you will be held liable. Sa criminal case kasi, kunyari murder, nag-charge ka, you have to be the one to pull the trigger.
Yes, kaya nga dito sinasabi niya, walang police record eh.
Wala.
Tapos walang
Death certificate,
mga
nakalagay heart attack.
yung mga DNA, yung mga, di ba, walang
Di ba yung kay
ganon.
Kian nga, initially heart attack ang nakalagay.
Walang gano'n. Iba yung mga nakalagay sa mga report. So anyway, I remember there was an oral argument by the Supreme Court saying na parang mandating the PNP to submit all yung tokhang operation nila, yung report, names, etc. But apparently, I think until now, walang nangyayaring gano'n, walang submission. Anyway, as the tensions grow over Vice President Sara Duterte's possible impeachment, House lawmakers oppose calls to dismiss the case outright. Mobile Journal Arles de los Santos has the report.
Are you more powerful than the Constitution? The bigger question is, ayaw nyo bang marinig yung gustong marinig ng taong bayan?
That is the question of Manila 1st District Representative Ernix Dionisio Jr. in a press conference yesterday, June 26, when asked about his reaction to Senate President Chis Escudero's statement, claiming that the Senate as an impeachment court can dismiss the impeachment case of Vice President Sara Duterte through a majority vote. He argues that it will be more rightful if the body gives both sides an opportunity to present their evidences before issuing a decision, because to weigh and test evidences is a court's role in the matter.
Dapat impartial. So kung gusto nyong i-dismiss o i-junk this early in the game, in the process, anong reason nyo? Nakakapagtaka.
Along with Lanao del Sur 1st District Representative Zia Alonto Adyong, the Congress also responded to VP Sara's statements, claiming that the impeachment case against her is designed simply to destroy her reputation as she is the front-runner in the 2028 presidential election, and that the congressmen who signed the impeachment case did not read the case, and that they signed simply because they are paid.
I strongly denounce yung statement na binayaran eh. Yung mga salitang ganyan, it's trying to, evade the real issue. The issue is, there's an impeachment complaint filed by a Filipino citizen. Dinala sa Kongreso, we have to act upon it as a constitutional mandated duty by the Congress. The impeachment process is there for a reason. It shows accountability and transparency in government.
The fellowship dinner led by House Speaker Martin Romualdez with the neophyte members of the House of Representatives was also part of discussion. They claim that this is a manifestation of unity and that the Speaker looks forward to working with them to push together legislation aligned with the Bagong Pilipinas vision of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. As per the Speakership of the House, 287 congressmen have already showed their support for Romualdez. 283 of them have signed the manifesto, an enough number to show that the majority of the members of the 20th Congress supports Romualdez. And if there is another contender,
anybody can actually run for the speaker, but the question is whether that person or that Congress member has the number to secure the position. We have already secured 280 plus signatures supporting Speaker Martin Romualdez to be our speaker in the 20th Congress.
we are a few weeks away before the 20th Congress begins. As of the moment, nothing is final yet. However, whether it is a change in the leadership of the chamber or the progress of VP Sara Duterte's impeachment case, the Congress confirms they are ready for it. Mobile Journal Arles de los Santos. We are One News.
Yan, and even si Senator Peter Cayetano, sinabi niya if elections for Senate President will be held today or tomorrow, sabi niya, si Senate President Chis Escudero would likely win kasi meron pa daw siyang 13 na sure na susuporta sa
But let's
kanya.
see, ha? Kasi,
But yun nga, marami pang pwedeng mangyari between now and until July.
Kasi ang matunog na name ngayon is si former Senate President Tito Soto.
Yeah,
And si Senator, I don't know, si Loren Legarda was talked about.
Pero si Senator Amy Marcos, 'di ba, nagkaroon din siya ng statement before saying na she's interested, 'di ba, doon sa position.
But walang ang may numbers daw so far nakikita nila kasi si Soto eh.
Pero yung sinabi ni Senator Alan Peter Cayetano na sabi niya
As of today,
as of today, ha. Pero
alam mo naman niya mga yan eh, di ba? They said
mangyayari.
before, wala nangyayari. Tapos nag-shift ng SONA, may nangyari.
Yung during the Zubiri time.
Wala naman siyang sinabi as of the 20th Congress, as of 19th. O, di 19th, safe pa. Sa 20th, sasabihin niya, wala man ako sinabing 20 eh.
Tignan natin. Kasi dyan nakasalalay din yung magiging impeachment trial eh.
Matanong kaya natin to kay Speaker tuloy, spokesperson Tonggol, di ba?
yung
Dynamics ng speakers,
Yes.
ng SP presidency, di ba?
Pero kasi sa naman siya, sa impeachment court naman siya. But we will see what will happen.
Very critical ang Senate President because...
And we all know naman, yung process nito, kung sino yung, kunyari, naglaban sila ng Senate presidency, kung sino yung matalo, yun yung supposedly magiging minority bloc.
Yeah.
Pero we'll see. Okay. All right. In other news, the Commission on Elections on Bank has lifted the suspension on the proclamation of Marcy Teodoro as the elected congressman of Marikina City's 1st District. Senator Coco Pimentel slammed the Comelec's decision, calling it a mockery of the Constitution. He claimed the ruling released after 6 months was a deliberate maneuver and vowed to raise the issue before the Supreme Court. Teodoro, for his part, said the petitioner has the right to elevate the case, but only if backed by a right in esse or an established legal claim.
Tama lang naman yun. Hindi ko naman sinasabing mali at karapatan naman niya yun. Yun nga lang, meron tayong tinatawag sa batas na right in esse. Dapat maipakita niya na siya ay merong may exhibited and enforceable right.
Teodoro also maintained that not the petitioner, was the one who properly waited for the Comelec on-bank ruling. He also stressed that the Supreme Court ruled that candidates who rank second in elections cannot be proclaimed winners should the candidate who received the majority of votes be disqualified.
Ang totoo, kung tutusin, ako yung naghintay ng matagal at hindi totoo yung sinasabi ng petitioner, naririnig ko na sila naghintay ng matagal. Hindi. Ako naghintay ng matagal dito sa decision na ito. At buti na lang, lumabas ng ganitong panahon na bago magsimula ang Kongreso.
Ayan.
Wait, thank you very much for making me salo. Pasensya na, excuse me po.
Okay. Alright, so going back to the earlier report, yan yung kasi yung pinag-uusapan din natin yesterday, 'di ba, about the recent reversal of ruling dito nga sa kaso ni now Congressman Marcy Teodoro at si Senator Coco Pimentel, outgoing Senator Coco Pimentel, is saying na yun nga, syempre hindi siya nag-agree dito sa decision na ito. And we all know naman, recently also nag-release ang Supreme Court ng kanilang resolution regarding dun sa mga pag na-disqualify, sino yung pumapalit, 'di ba? At hindi daw yun
Rule of succession.
rule of succession sinasabi nila. Hindi yun dun sa kung sino yung nag-second during the elections.
dito
Pero
naman,
ang question natin kasi pag Congress, paano yung rule of succession?
because rule of succession states there's a order, like for example, in the order of the highest officials of the land, you have President, Vice President, Speaker, Senate President, Executive Secretary. Dito, you have Mayor, Vice Mayor, di ba? And then Councilor. Ang problema sa Congressman, you have equal positions.
Exactly.
So who really takes over if the winning party? And usually, ang alam ko nangyari before nung may nadi-disqualify or dahil nagkakaso or tinanggal sa pwesto, pinapalit, nagkakaroon ng special elections. Pero I don't know if in this case. Pero si Marcy naman, former Mayor Marcy was the one who won naman talaga.
Yes, pero yun nga, siya yung nanalo.
He got the most votes,
got the most votes. Kaya lang kasi ang sinasabi ni Senator Coco Pimentel is yung validity ng kanyang certificate of candidacy.
Because
kasi apparently yung allegation na hindi naman siya talaga doon nakatira at that time.
Residency
diba?
issue.
Residency issue. Yung doon sa succession na sinasabi naman is yung, of course, that will also fall under the situation of Congressman Chua sa Manila and Congressman Abante. Pero si Congressman Abante, I think
Assume na
nag-assume office na siya. Pero sabi nga ng COMELEC, they will file a motion for reconsideration regarding this issue. Alright, we'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. Good morning. You're still watching News and Views here on One News. A new legal resource for the LGBTQIA plus community was launched during a Pride reception hosted by the British Embassy. The comprehensive legal guidebook aims to empower members of the community, advocates, and organizations with legal knowledge and practical tools to fight discrimination and protect their rights. It covers laws such as the Safe Spaces Act and anti-discrimination ordinances, offering clear guidance on what steps to take and who to call in times of crisis. Radem Musawa of Mujer LGBTQIA+ organization said, "This is not just a legal tool, it is a lifeline."
And joining us is Radem Musawa, one of the key voices behind this initiative. Radem is the Political and Communications Officer of Mujer LGBT+ organization, one of the co-founders of Mindanao Pride and the co-founder of Pride PH. Good morning, Radem. Thank you for joining us again.
Yes.
Good morning, Jegon. Good morning, Angela. And of course, assalamualaikum to all our viewers for this morning.
Yes, the last time you were here, it was, I think, the Pride event.
Yeah.
Yes, it was
Last
Pride
year.
event. And now we are also in celebrating Pride
A
Month.
year after.
Again,
And
yeah.
Again, after a year. And happy Pride to everyone. And tomorrow is the main Pride event in Quezon City.
All right, let's start off. Ano ba yung pinaka-inspiration mo with this project that you have, 'di ba? Kasi a legal guidebook, 'di ba? Not many groups have this kind of activities or this kind of project. So ano yung inspiration mo?
The legal guidebook was initiated coming from our experience 2 years ago when we were red tagged by the National Intelligence Coordinating Agency. And it was at the time when, for many years, we've been doing a lot of LGBTQI+ empowerment and awareness, and also educating people about their rights. And suddenly, we were a little bit trampled because of the red tagging. And we realized that a lot of LGBT organizations doesn't know how to handle certain situations and emergencies like that. And not just even the red tagging, even with situation of gender-based violence. And we realized na parang, alam mo yun, when a member of LGBTQIA+ community naharas, nabugbog, naaresto, yung first point of destination nila na pupunta nila una, hindi yung family nila, hindi yung police. They will always go to a place wherein they feel safe to raise the issue. And those are the LGBTQI+ organizations on the ground. But the problem is, a lot of all LGBT organizations on the ground doesn't even have the knowledge for or the legal remedies at hand to be able to support these victims of gender-based violence.
Well, okay.
So that was the inspiration behind the book.
So this is the book.
Yes.
No? Let's show it to the camera. Okay, so Justice with Pride, LGBTQIA+ Community Legal Guidebook in the Philippines. No, ito bang book na to, does it include steps on what to do? Let's say, for example, I was harassed in a mall, diba? And I'm a member of LGBTQIA+. Ano yung gagawin ko?
So basically, under this book, it will also educate us regarding the existing law in the Philippines that LGBTQI+ organization can use to highlight, and at the same time, it will also teach them on who to call, where to go, and who to reach when certain situation arises, and what to highlight. Kasi sometimes yung gender desk natin sa, for example, the PNP, they are not holistically knowledgeable enough of the entirety of the law and how to properly address the members of the LGBTI+ community. So, with this book, they could tell the police or the gender desk na this part of the law that was violated and I was harassed, and this what we should do. So, it's going to complement as well for them to be able to tell our authorities on the rights that was violated by different parties.
Kasi kasi Radem, yung LGBTQ community, madami rin diyan sa mga laylayan who are less fortunate. They don't have access. Wala sila talagang alam. So, will this book not only yung where to go or what to do, parang meron kayong magiging parang yellow pages na who can I call specifically that can help me? Kasi wala akong alam, poor lang ako, I need help. May ganun ba?
Yes, meron po itong included also into this book na yung hotlines and emails and numbers of agencies, government and private agencies that provide legal assistance and at the same time that do support for gender-based. For example, the Commission on Human Rights, Integrated Bar Council, Public Attorney's Office, andyan lahat, Philippine Commission on Women. Because Philippine Commission on Women as well assist members of the LGBTQIA+ community on legal process and legal support, and sometimes they even provide certain assistance beyond the legal support para to make sure na hindi ka protected by the law, meron pang certain assistance na parang kailangan kang i-shelter or kailangan...
Holistic, no?
Yes, yes.
Approach. Yun nga, kasi speaking of the marginalized sector, how are you going to reach out to them to be able to, get this book as well?
Oo, meron din ng Tagalog.
So far, for now, we only have copies in English kasi this book naman is designed for LGBT organizations on the ground.
Okay.
However, we were able to print 300 copies and we will be distributing that for now doon sa database namin. We already have 150 civil society organizations focused on helping LGBTQI+ community all over the country. So we'll be sending these to them. But of course, not all LGBTQI+ organizations has access to internet.
Yes, that's right.
So this is the importance of giving them the handbook. And for those naman na, privileged enough to be able to make their own prints or for them to be able to read it on their computer at the comfort of their home, they could also download the digital copy at trust.org.
Okay. Have you coordinated with the PNP? Kasi maganda rin to if you said, sabi mo, parang may directory ka dito, kunyari may naharas na member ng community.
Yan ito.
I'm saying...
Kunyari, discrimination in public spaces. Alam na nila, ano ba yung mga discrimination? Catcalling?
What I'm trying to say is, kung may copy ang PNP nitong book, so kunyari, kasi not all the PNP officials sa help desk know kung ano yung gagawin next step when they're dealing with cases like this. So syempre, kung meron mga referral dito, they could easily refer also these numbers. So maganda sana, do they have something like this?
Actually, on top of, kasi a lot of, some LGBT organizations are providing SOGI awareness training to our members of the PNP, of the National Police. But of course, beyond the training, they also need to have a manual as well on how to be able to address this kind of issue. Then definitely, we will definitely give them a copy of this. I think some of government officials and politicians, some of them was able to get a copy of this, and hopefully the copy will empower them to really, do their mandate as a duty bearers in accordance to human rights.
Yun nga, speaking of government officials, politicians, lawmakers, do you hope that by bringing this in public, this guidebook, LGBTQIA+ guidebook, this will influence them or inspire them as well to pursue yung SOGI bill?
Ito kasi yung challenges natin on the ground when it comes to the LGBTQI+ community, no? Na a lot of advocates on the ground doing 24/7 work to make sure the equality agenda is being pushed on the ground. Sila yung usually ang nagiging vulnerable to the harassment of the authority, nagiging nare-red tag, and we want to empower them to make sure that they can still do their work in comfort by having this manual. This manual will protect them. So basically, the intention of the manual is protect the protectors. And the protectors on the ground are the LGBTQI+ organizations and activists doing all the work. And we should protect them to make sure na beyond the anti-discrimination ordinance, beyond the human rights defender protection ordinances or the bill that we're pushing in the lower house as well, meron silang guided sila na they will be able to do their work with comfort and confidence na parang if my potential danger to our lives, we have this book to guide us.
Right.
And of course, I wanted to highlight as well na this won't be possible without the dedication and hard work of Moral LGBT Organization and our partner Trust Law and Thomson Reuters Foundation as well, and the British Embassy here in Manila, coming together and trusting the importance of this guidebook for the community on the ground.
Di ba, it's Pride Month, no?
Yeah,
so
it's
will you
Pride
be giving this out? Didistribute nyo ba to?
I-distribute namin siya sa mga LGBT organizations on the ground. Well, unfortunately, but we're still looking for other sources na we could print more.
Para more
Kasi
copies.
ngayon,
yeah.
parang limited copies
Oh,
lang, 300.
limited copies pa lang. And also, this guidebook, hindi lang to solely for LGBTQIA+ community. Kasi lahat ng constitutional provisions dito ay focus on the laws from gender and women as well. So, women
Pwede rin
organizations,
magamit to.
they could also use this to protect themselves on the ground.
Siguro give us na lang insights on how was the process, 'di ba, of making this book,
Oo.
'di ba? Consolidating everything all kasi nakita ko dito yung mga existing laws that we have already are here. So, what was the process about? Like
Actually, this one is 2 years in the making, but of course, it was the challenging part is really to lobby and persuade and encourage agencies and organizations to can we come together to make this to materialize it, to make this happen, because I think this is an urgent thing that we have to do. Kasi meron tayong LGBTQ guidebook in 2006 by the Rainbow Rights Group, but yung book na yun is more like hindi siya updated and more like hindi siya step by step na minimension lang doon ano yung mga law na available, and probably that's something that people could explore.
Yeah.
This one, it includes the anti-terror law provision, the Safe Spaces Act, and different anti-discrimination ordinance all over the country, and also the support and also the mandate from Philippine Commission on Women, from BAUSI, anti-bullying. So very comprehensive siya. Meron ring dalawa from UP and Commission on Human Rights, but those are manual lang for their officials and agencies and offices, so within them. So ito yung parang designed for LGBT organizations talaga. Kasi sila yung first responder and
On the
frontliners natin on the ground.
Totoo yan.
Yes.
Okay. So, are you also planning in the future distributing this in
Bookstores?
organizations, bookstores, and schools?
Hopefully, pero yung prioritize namin ngayon is to give a copy to all LGBT organizations. Pag natapos na yan,
Can they reprint?
Isa-isa muna.
Can they reprint kung gusto nila? May
well, they could actually reprint, but of course we are sensitive on the quality, so we need to make sure na everything is readable and everything is conducive to the eyes of the readers and easy for them to read. Kasi pag i-reprint nila and medyo hindi maganda yung quality, it will also not gonna be will have an impact as well on the ground.
That's right.
But and also, oh my God, I also wanted to highlight na our main legal researcher for this is the CISIP Salazar Gatmantan law firm, and they were the law firm that dedicated themselves to make sure na hanapin tong nitty-gritty of the Constitution, to make sure na makonsolidate namin siya into one book.
Ayun. So far, saan nila to pwedeng makuha? Or kayo lang talaga yung
Palay mo, there are other groups out there na hindi pa nabigyan, gusto nila ng copy.
Yes, definitely they could reach out to us. Kasi basically yung database namin 150, I'm sure meron pang iba nun na pwede. Like for example, 2 days ago, we gave 3 LGBT organizations na wala siya sa database natin. So when I was in Pampanga, so I was able to give it to them. Definitely they could reach out. If they have access to the internet, they could get the digital copy. But if they need the hard copy, they could reach out to us and we could ship it to them.
So anong accounts na pwede nilang maabot?
Oh, they could definitely reach out to Mujer LGBT Organization Facebook page and also on Instagram. Or they could also reach out to me online as well. I'm all over there. But they could also reach out to Thomson Reuters Foundation as well to get a copy of the book as well.
Well, of course, this is just one part of the celebration of Pride
Yes.
Month, diba? Tomorrow is the main event.
Yes.
Tell us more about it.
But you know, tomorrow is the main event. Starting 10 a.m., nagpa-party na tayo, nagsa-celebration. May expo tayo and may mga booths tayo where people selling queer-owned businesses, magdi-display ng products sila, magsisell sila doon. And of course, mga organization, foundation will be there providing certain support and assistance and materials. And on top of that, yung parade natin will start at 2 p.m.
Okay.
And it will be around QC, yung sabi mo sa akin kanina. This time, I think, mas malilesen yung issue with traffic.
Pero saan yung main staging area nyo?
It will be in Sunken Garden,
Okay.
inside
UP.
University
Okay.
of the Philippines in Diliman, Quezon City.
Yeah.
And we're expecting to host 300,000 attendees.
Mukhang maganda naman daw yung weather outlook tomorrow. So
Yes, actually,
hopefully,
I'm really hoping na hindi magka-aberya. But so far, the forecast is really good. And
Sino daw mga participants, yung mga guests, mga...
Oh, we have a lot of several bands and celebrity artists na coming in. And of course, we have this, we don't want to disclose everything, but all the list of the artists, singers, and actors are on our page, the Pride PH. They can just check us. But of course, yung mga bigating artists natin, medyo isusurprise na natin kasi medyo nagka-incident last year because of big artists and something happened. But this time, yung big artists natin will be a surprise.
So, kumbaga, if you wanna know kung sino, pumunta kayo.
Yes, they should go there and participate. And you know, beyond empowering LGBTQIA plus or community, beyond celebrating Pride, really, what we really need is tangible solution and support to the community.
Sustainable.
Sustainable programs, sustainable initiative, and I think the book in some ways contribute to that. So come together and support.
Yeah. I was wondering kasi, going back to this book, ano yung mga challenging na parts nung developing this book as well? Would you know data na you can share with us nung mga areas dito na still, experiencing discrimination on the community, within the community?
On top of the rising reports na mga gender-based violence here in the Philippines, just few days ago, a transgender woman got murdered in Jensan, and few days ago as well, a transgender woman rin got murdered in Cagayan Valley. And these are only reported cases. And most of these cases, when they get beat up on the street, they get harassed, or maybe their family also do something against them, wala silang napapanghawakan na parang guide or kapangyarihan to empower themselves. Hindi nila alam yung legal remedies, hindi nila alam kung sino i-approach sa DSWD, where to go. So the book is really their guide, but at the end of the day, it would be really nice if LGBT organization would lead the way to support this community. Kasi sila yung magbe-bridge rin sa local government. Like, hey, we have this knowledge about this. Can you help us? We were instructed to reach out to this department, to this person, to this hotline. So, yun. And 2 years in the making, and finally, dito na siya. Ito na. And we have a lot of resource. A lot of our resource person as well for this one are agencies, human rights agencies and organizations all over the country coming together. Yung idea lang na them supporting this book and giving us guide to create this book is a manifestation that equality is stronger when it is shared together, when we rise together and we speak together and come together. And hopefully, tomorrow again, for the Pride Month, please come and join us.
Ayun. So indeed, no, knowledge is power. Information is
Yes.
power. We are one with you in your advocacy. Maraming salamat for joining us today. Radem Osawa of Mujer, LGBTQIA plus organization. Maraming salamat.
Thank you.
Don't go away because we're not done yet. Please stay with us. Welcome back. You're still watching News and Views here on One News.
The Metropolitan Manila Development Authority or MMDA convenes Metro Manila Road Safety Summit 2025 amid rise in road accidents. Here's the report.
The number of road crashes in Metro Manila dropped significantly during the 2020 pandemic, based on data from the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority or MMDA. But incidents gradually increased again starting in 2021 as mobility restrictions eased. By 2023, the number of road crashes in the National Capital Region surged to nearly 86,000 cases, with over 350 of them classified as fatal.
Nakaka-alarma na. Hindi namamatay sa sakit. Talagang cause of concern na siya. Na itong mga bagay na to pwedeng i-prevent eh.
According to the MMDA, most fatal crashes occur between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m.
Possible main factors is dahil madilim, inaantok.
Each loss are not just numbers on a report. They represent real people whose life is just as valuable as any other. Lives that we vow to protect.
In 2024, EDSA recorded the most number of road crash incidents in Metro Manila with nearly 9,000 cases, followed by C5 and Commonwealth Avenue.
This trend is really expected since this road also carry the largest volume in traffic in Metro Manila. This make them more prone to incident due to higher vehicle density and vehicle usage.
The MMDA emphasized the need to upgrade traffic infrastructure such as stoplights, road markings, and signage, as well as repair potholes to prevent further collisions. The agency is also considering proposals to lower the speed limit in urban areas to 30 kilometers per hour, a move previously supported by the Department of Health.
We will consult experts and then we have to consider din yung economic aspect eh. Diyan, pag nagbaba ka ng speed, yung turnaround time ng pampublikong transportasyon, like buses, jeepneys, TNBS, baka naman ma-restrict rin natin. So, we have to balance din po yung mga aspeto na yan.
The Land Transportation Office or LTO, for its part, plans to tighten its licensing procedures. Mobile journalist Marymon Reyes, we are One News.
A birthday song echoed through the halls of the United Nations in Bangkok. But this was no ordinary celebration. It marked a critical call for action on the rights of stateless children and unregistered births. Joey Francisco has the report.
The birthday song was heard inside a meeting room of the United Nations Conference Center in Bangkok, Thailand. A room filled with youngsters whose presence in a global conference seemed peculiar. They are kids from all over the world who are here to show their support for policymakers, tasked to remedy problems that are being faced by persons without legal documentation. Some of the children present are stateless because their families were displaced because of conflicts. They were singing happy birthday to underscore the importance of having their date of birth registered.
For me po, nakakalungkot na wala po silang proper identification and they don't have the, especially birth certificate. Kasi during our dialogue with them, meron po mga stateless na mga bata. So some of them cannot avail the proper education and healthcare na guaranteed po as libre sa mga mamamayan.
This is one issue being addressed by the delegates of the Third Ministerial Conference on Civil Registration and Vital Statistics in Asia and the Pacific. And in a landmark decision, governments commit to ensure that all births are registered and all deaths are recorded by 2030. Presently, 1 in 6 children under 5 are without birth registration, and 1 in 3 deaths were not legally certified. And a lot of countries need to catch up to comply with the 2030 commitments so that by that time, every person in the world will have legal identity and ensured of services they deserve. The new deadline gives governments 5 years to fill the gap. The Philippines served as one of the vice chairs of the conference. Yusek Claire Dennis Mapa led the Philippine delegation and he was assigned to read the landmark declaration during this afternoon session. He shared with us what the country is doing to beat the deadline.
Ang target kasi natin doon, 99.5% of individuals sa bansa, no, for example, sa atin sa Pilipinas, 99.5% of Filipinos dapat may birth registration. Medyo papunta na sana tayo doon kasi wala, nagkaroon tayo ng COVID. So medyo mayroon tayong slowdown sa mga targets.
Reporting from the United Nations Conference Center here in Bangkok, Thailand, Joby Francisco, we are One News.
Actually, this
Well,
is,
you know,
tama si Joby, this is a very big problem all over the world, especially sa Philippines.
Long
time
ago pa.
Unregistered births and deaths. Sa death nga, I remember my dad, even PNP records, wala pa na dead siya 10 years after the fact. Diba? So, we had to fix it. Unregistered birth, ang dami nating kilala na wala pala sa City Hall pero lying in clinic.
Yeah, oo. Yun nga yung they need to fix the system kasi 'di ba during the hearing also nung sa mga pogo-pogo and yung sa confidential funds, we also discovered na may mga nangyayari, 'di ba, inside the local registry ng Philippine Statistics Authority na nagkakaroon ng mga late registrants pero hindi naman pala sila talaga dito. Like yung mga foreign nationals, 'di ba, na nakita nila na ano. So they need to change that as well because nakikita natin yung mga totoong kailangan ng birth certificates especially in the marginalized sector sa rural areas. Sila yung dapat tinututukan ng pansin at mabibigyan sila ng awareness, 'di ba, tungkol sa kahalagahan ng pagkakaroon ng birth certificate.
That's right. All right, but we'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. that wraps up today's episode. Sorry, hindi. Alam mo guys, kaya nakita nyo ang daming treats. May cake, may food. I thank you pala sa Buddha's Belly and News and Views family for the cake.
Yay!
Buddha's Belly kay Marjorie Tan.
Oo.
And kanina kasi nag-celebrate ng birthday sa GMK family. Ngayon, News and Views. O yan, sa birthday ni Angel, she's now 18 years old.
Thank you.
Minor de edad siya yesterday. So, diretso na akong kulungan. Mamaya. Happy birthday, Angel.
Yeah, thank
Maraming
you.
salamat sa pagiging sweet, super sweet, malambing na asawa.
All of which is baligtad.
Sama mo naman.
But thank you so much
Actually,
for this.
tomorrow guys, ang birthday ni
Bukas pa
Angel.
talaga.
Bukas. But today, siyempre, since wala tayong program tomorrow, today tayo. So,
Yes.
ano ba message mo sa ating viewers?
Gusto ko lang magpasalamat sa lahat. Nag-effort, of course, sa Buddha's Belly kay Marjorie Tan and Jerry Yang. And of course, sa inyo, ni Mio, the rest of our family. Sino pa? Of course, may our News and Views family for this wonderful cake. Maraming salamat. Yung ating
Sa gumo
EP, di ba? Sila.
Pag gumawa ka, umiyak ka, ba't di ka umiyak dito?
Payakin mo na ako.
Sabihin mo ano.
Because EP natin si Carlo, si Ma'am Icy.
You guys make me feel welcome.
Sino
Sige,
pa?
go. Isa pa. Isang
You
ganon.
guys make me feel welcome. Oh.
Umiyak ka.
Ano ka ba?
Hindi,
Anyway, si
umiyak
Miss
eh.
Icy, si Sir Jovi, di ba? Si Sir Pete.
Oo, the entire family.
Ma'am Shena, si Ma'am Jane, lahat-lahat na.
Oo.
Maraming salamat.
Actually, this
Of
program...
course, yung ating family dito, di ba? Lahat sila direct, sila Kuya Elmer, sino pa ba?
Yeah.
Sila Barbie, si Ate Marley, sila Lane, si Susan, sino pa ba nakakalimutan ko? Sorry kung may nakalimutan. JR,
Kuya Bong.
Kuya Bong,
Oo.
diba si Thea.
Si Barbie, pero galit na ako kay Barbie. Hindi, tapos actually kasi, itong family natin ng News and Views, matagal na natin nakasama to.
Branch pa.
Actually sa akin, One News Now pala.
Ako sa One Balita Weekend.
So, branch and until now, so talagang family sila.
Yes.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
And they remembered with cake and then food, of course.
Yes.
Oo.
Thank you.
Wala
Sobrang
pang
ano.
So,
Sobrang na-touch ako.
Dahil dyan, may song number si Angel.
Ano, hindi. No. But thank you so much. Alam niyo, hindi wala akong maisip ngayon eh. Sobrang overwhelmed ako sa saya. So maraming salamat sa aking family.
Wala kang mga
News
mensahe
and
sa
Views.
pogi mong asawa?
Thank you. Okay.
Oh, guys, thank you
Yay!
again.
Dapat mag-blow ako ng candle.
Oh, go.
Kaso wala tayong lighter.
We anti-lighter tayo.
Sige,
So,
Iwas tayo.
Guys, thank you very much. Wala, may lighter
meron
ba?
pala
Okay
eh.
na. Pwede ba? Baka mag-fire alarm? Hindi naman mag-fire alarm. Oh, just light the car.
Ito galing sa ating News and Views family. Wala palang light.
Meron. Kaso, di ba, okay na yan?
Okay na yan.
Okay
Happy
na yan.
birthday.
Oh. Ayun. So, yeah, that caps off another week of News and Views. Thank you to all our viewers for joining us. It's been a pleasure giving you the news and our views, which will escalate sooner. Di ba? Naghahanap kasi sila ng away. So, next week, promise, mag-aaway kami on air.
Alright.
But for now, that wraps up today's episode of News and Views. Remember, age is just a number.
Oo nga.
Yun ang quote of the day.
Aging is privilege.
Age is just a number. Nothing more, nothing less.
Aging is privilege. Alright, join us again on Monday. I'm Angela Lagunsad Castro.
And I'm definitely Angelo Castro the third. We are One News.
All sides, all the time.